All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our our inaugural kickoff of Instagram A Rama, where we're going to talk about, over the next several weeks, or forever long as needed, to talk about how we can grow our business the faster, smarter, and better way using Instagram. I'm Dr. Lisa Thompson. I'm of the Digital Marketing Doctor, and I want to welcome you this evening. I'm just going to take a few seconds here to see who's all coming today, and I thank you all for giving up your time on a summer evening on a Tuesday night. I can't believe that we are ending near the end of July and we're heading into August. It just seemed like we just started summer. And I absolutely love the summer months. And so for those of you who are coming here tonight, I really thank you for coming. And for those of you who brought guests today, I want to make sure you turn and thank your guests for coming, because they thought enough of you to have you come this evening. So let's just give a few seconds here. Can everybody see and hear me right now? Okay, awesome. And the reason there's just a little bit of silence here is that with the feed in the chat, there's a little bit of a delay. So it just takes me time to read through there to make sure everybody is there, and we are. And I'm under a kind of a time crunch today because I'm going to be doing another webinar tonight at 8 o'clock. So we have to get going through this rather quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my slides so that you guys can see those. And let me bring them up there. And I want to make sure that, before they do that, make sure I have my right slide up there. And if everybody can right now in the chat, can they see my slide? Can they see my slide? Unfortunately, as far as with the slideshow, if I put the slideshow on, then it does something goofy with the webinar platform software, the Webinars on Air software, so I'm keeping it up where, so hopefully you all can see the screen. Can everybody see the screen before we get started? I'm just waiting here on what people can see here. And some of this that I'm going to be covering tonight, I did a webinar 2 weeks ago on some Instagram training. So some of the stuff that I'm going to talk with you tonight may be a little bit familiar, but for those of you who are not on and who were not on that 2 weeks ago, I want to make sure that you understand what I am going to be talking about today. So I'm just going to bring up my slides here again. And so basically what we're calling this series is Instagram A Rama. We're learning the subliminal tricks using Instagram that make people fall madly in love with your images and buy your stuff. Now, in these weekly webinars, you're going to learn how to use Instagram to build your brand, create raving fans, loyal fans, and sell more stuff in the process. That's going to be like the eventual byproduct. Right now, I'm going to be telling you there's going to the way that this Instagram training is going to come out is that you're going to be learning over the next couple of sessions some real foundational pieces. And if you understand these foundational pieces, they're going to apply no matter what social media platform you're going to use, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat. There's a whole bunch out there. And if you know how to engage people and become highly attractive to these people, you're going to wind up having just you're never going to have to worry about having leads for your business. So some of the ground rules tonight And guys, I'm going to want to let you know too that a replay will be made available. I will let you know for those who signed up. You'll get an email from me when that comes up, as well as what I will do too, and sometimes it's hard, you know, if the slides don't show up, I'm going to make sure that I get the slides put into a PDF and people can have access to those slides. I will also be creating a playlist on my YouTube channel with replays as well of these past or these Instagram A Rama sessions, so you can always go back in case you miss a session. So the ground rules that I have for this this weekly series is number one, I want you to get rid of distractions. I want you to put away, you know, put your phone on silent, put it on your Facebook, your Twitter. Be present, because I'm going to be teaching you, you know, you're going to be seeing a lot of things that might be hands-on. You're also going to be seeing some visual. Instagram's very visual, so you're going to want to be watching what I will be sharing with you. This is meant to be a very fun weekly session, as well as asking questions. And I'm typically going to be keeping these weekly hangouts to around 30 to 45 minutes in length. I'm not going to try to give you too much, but enough that it can, my goal is to give you enough information that you can immediately apply it this week to see some results in your business. Sometimes, I mean, I'm looking to add guest speakers, and if we do have a guest speaker, it might go maybe 50 minutes to an hour, but typically we're going to be about 30 to 45 minutes. And if you need to connect with me, these are my favorite social media places to hang out. With Facebook, you can find it as Dr. Lisa Thompson. My newsletter, I give out a newsletter where I can give you free tips and training every day on how to grow your business, as well as I do a Friendly Friday freebie. Every Friday you will get a special training from me. It can be a video training that either I have done or somebody that is very successful in either the internet marketing, network marketing, or in the personal development industries. I also, on Google+, I have a YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram. And like I said, I'll have these slides made available so you can come and find me on these sites. And today's topic, we're going to, as we kick off this inaugural event, we're going to be talking, I'm going to share with you my story so you understand why Instagram really resonated with me. And then we're going to talk about the foundation of online networking. And this is kind of the bread and butter of marketing. If you understand this foundation of online networking, you will never have to worry about running out of leads for your business, and you will eventually become the hunted. You're never going to have to chase people down. People are going to be chasing you, and that's the really cool thing. And we're going to be talking about throughout this series, we're going to be kind of taking these little foundational pieces and discussing them more in depth. But tonight you're going to get the thumbnail sketch, if you will, of what these foundational, the foundation of online networking. I'm also going to be tying in what the purpose of Instagram is. And I see so many people on Instagram, they're using it the wrong way, which repels people to run away from them. And the purpose of Instagram, when you understand what the purpose is after I explain the foundations of online networking, you're going to feel like a light bulb going off in your head. You're going to be going, wow, I never knew that. And it's going to radically change your business and how you look at your business on Instagram and social media. And I'm going to also talk about the Instagram formula. And I introduced this 2 weeks ago, where it's a triangulation of 3 components. And then we'll be talking about this triangulation Instagram formula throughout the series as well. So I always believe, and I heard this often from Tony Robbins, he's my favorite personal development coach, and he says that repetition is the mother of skill. And so the more you hear these terms, especially, you know, I'm going to be mentioning the foundation of online networking and this Instagram formula over and over and over again. And the more you hear it, the more it's going to seep into your subconscious. And the more you hear it, and then if you start to apply it, it's going to eventually become a part of you, and it's going to become effortless for you to engage in these types of tasks, especially when you are posting your content. Then we're going to talk about know your market. And this is another area where I see a lot of people on Instagram fail, is that they're marketing to everybody. And when you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. And so we're going to be kind of talking about how you want to enter yourself into the marketplace and how to identify who your target prospect and target market is. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is setting up your Instagram profile. Now, a lot of you are thinking, well, gee, I want to get right to the tool. Just show me how to set everything up on Instagram, and away we go. And I want to tell you, it's one thing to have a tool. It's another thing to be able to use the tool well. Now, I live up here in Minnesota, and Minnesota is known as the land of 10,000 lakes. And I remember growing up as a kid, my dad and my Grandpa Joe, we called him Papa Joe, they go fishing every weekend on Lake Waconia, which is where my grandparents had their house. And every weekend we were at the lake going fishing. And my dad was always Mr. New Technology. He had to have the newest technology with the rod and reel and the lures and the depth finder so you could find the fish, where my grandpa relied on instinct. And I remember going with, and my dad got this brand new depth finder to help him find where the fish were. And I was so excited by this gadget. And I was like, Dad, let me operate it. And my dad's like, no, you're too young to operate. And then my grandpa said to me, Papa Joe, he said, it's one thing to have this tool to help you find the fish, but you got to know how to use it and understand when you're looking at the depth finder and that, what the reading is all telling you. So that's what I want you guys to think of with this initial training, is that you got to have the foundation in place first before you use the tool. Okay? You can only build so high as your foundation is deep. I'm going to say that again. Make sure you write that down. You can only build so high as your foundation is deep. That's kind of a real mindset to keep to keep thinking about. So let's talk a little bit here about why Instagram. Instagram is the fastest growing social media network right now, as of the summer of 2014, and it's evident. You're hearing the term selfie. Everyone's taking pictures of themselves. Some of the most famous ones we saw was back, I don't know if you guys remember, back in March when the Oscars were on. Ellen DeGeneres gave that famous selfie that was taken at the Oscars. And then again, we just finished up the World Cup, and there were so many selfies being taken during the World Cup. But Instagram's owned by Facebook, and it has over 200 million active monthly users, which is broken down to 7.3 million users per day, 70% log in every day. As of right now, there are over 200 billion posts, and that's probably growing just even as I'm talking here. And 60 million photos are posted a day, and this number just blows me away, 8,500 likes per second. Wow, that's huge. 8,500 likes per second. And I forgot to tell you too, let me just go back to the slide, the fastest growing demographic on Instagram right now are females between the ages of 34 and 54. That's huge, because think about all of the types of markets that are available that for the women in that demographic. You've got health and wellness, you've got beauty, you have being a mom with kids, fashion, whole slew, even like technology, business opportunities. And so this is really an exciting time to be part of Instagram and understanding how to use Instagram right now, being in front of the wave. And if you can market Instagram correctly, I mean, I just have a hard time sleeping at night just thinking of the possibilities of leads and sales and engagement and having a loyal fan base. So why me? Why is Instagram so important for me? Well, I started my online business in 2010, and that came about because, first of all, my husband lost his job in the Great Recession of 2008. I became the sole income earner. And then I began in earnest in 2010 when my father, on April Fool's Day, fell in a freak accident at home while mowing the lawn and broke his neck and became a quadriplegic. And that was a huge wake-up call to me because it made me realize we're all one catastrophic incident. It can be healthcare, it could be an accident, it could be something that happens at work, you could be laid off, where your whole nest egg and everything could be wiped out. And so that woke me up in a cold sweat thinking, oh my gosh, you know, what would happen to my family if something happened to me and I wasn't able to bring income in? So I started doing work on online marketing, and things began to turn around for me in 2013 when I became a part of My Lead System Pro, and they taught me how to be a professional marketer. But all of a sudden, in May of 2014, Facebook and I started to not be on speaking terms because Facebook is always changing things with their algorithms, and for some reason they kept throwing me in jail for I don't know what. They kept throwing me in jail for reasons I can't figure out, that I couldn't post or join to any groups, and I was really wanting to use Facebook as a marketing strategy. I was doing very well with Google Plus, and I wanted to add Facebook into my marketing repertoire, and so I wasn't too happy with that. But then all of a sudden, April Marie Tucker, who really is an authority on Instagram, put out a training in May of 2014 and came at just this right time, and it just really resonated with me, and I fell in love with Instagram. And I want to tell you why the images really spoke to me. And as you can see here, this is a picture of my grandmother, Grandma Marge. And my grandmother, she did not go to college. She just finished high school. But her and my grandpa, they were kind of entrepreneurial, and they started what was called a Carver County Abstract Company, which was it's like a land title insurance company. And my grandma was also active in the American Legion Auxiliary. She was the president. And often, twice a year in October and January, they would put on, the Legion would put on this pork chop and sauerkraut dinner. And my grandmother was in charge of promotion, and my grandmother understood what people really connect to. And one thing that people really connect to are babies, puppies, kittens, and family, young family members. And so my grandma, when she knew that it was time for these events in this pork chop dinner, she would get out this poster board. Now this was like in the mid-'80s till about the mid-'90s. This is before internet. And she would come to the house and she would tell my mom, and she'd tell my aunts and her nieces and nephews and say, okay, kids, give me your family circle, your ladies' home journal, your Good Housekeeping magazines, Better Homes and Gardens, give them all to me. And she'd go in there and she'd pull out all the ads related to puppy chow and meow mix and any other dog and cat food and baby food and diaper ads that had cute babies on it. And she'd make up all these posters promoting the event. And what she would do is have a picture of a cute dog, maybe like a little pug puppy, and there he's looking, with his head cocked, saying, "Won't you bring me home a doggy bag?" And then she would talk about the pork chop dinner, and then she'd go around town in Chaska, Minnesota, and put up these posters in with the local merchants, and it was an incredible hit. I mean, they had this pork chop dinner that went from 11 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, and they were running out of pork chops before the main supper rush at 5 o'clock. And so it became just a huge hit. And whenever Grandma wanted to recover the posters, the merchants said, we'd like to keep them, because they wound up getting more floor traffic during those times when my grandma was promoting in October and January when these dinners were. My grandmother sadly passed away in 2007, and this past March I was going through some of her stuff, and I came across some condolence letters from when she passed away from some of these local merchants, and one of them said the reason that they held on to those poster boards, and they kept them up for quite a while, is that they wound up having more sales and more traffic walk into their store than any time during the year, because people were attracted to those images and they wanted to know more about what was going on, and they'd come into the store and they'd see things that they would like, and they would wind up making a purchase. That's the power of images. So I feel that I'm using Instagram, and I'm using Instagram, I feel like I'm connecting with my grandmother again. And I know that Grandma up in heaven, she's probably looking down and being very proud. And I think if she were still with us, she would probably be enjoying doing memes even now. She's scared of technology, but I think she would have enjoyed it. And as we're going through here, you can see that with my, when I started using Instagram, you can see here probably in May of 2014, when I started using it, and into June, I really saw a spike in my lead generation, and very consistent. And when I started using Instagram as well, you can see I started hitting the leaderboards in My Lead System Pro and getting more leads, reps, and signups. So that's what's exciting, and that's the possibility that you have when you understand how to use the Instagram tool the right way. And I cannot wait over the next couple of weeks, several weeks, as we'll continue as long as we need to, but I want to share this with you because it's made such a positive impact in my life, and I want to make sure that you have a very similar result. So let's get to the foundation of online networking, okay? The foundation of online networking. Before we start, I just want to check in with people real quick. How's everything going? Everything going well here? Any questions so far? I'm going to take a drink of water here. Okay, looks like everyone's enjoying this so far. So I'm going to come back to my screen, and we'll talk about the foundation of online networking. And I was taught this foundation by Diane Hockman, and I don't know if any of you know who Diane Hockman is. She is an industry leader in both the affiliate marketing and network marketing industries. And what Diane does better than anybody else, I mean, she is not tech savvy. She often calls herself the digital dingbat, but she has the most responsive following on social media, and she doesn't use any type of paid advertising. This is all free organic traffic. And what she did is she taught me these foundational cornerstone, this foundation of online networking, where if you follow these 5 C's, it's going to give you an unlimited supply of leads for your business. You're never going to have to worry about running out of leads for your business. So let's start with what the 5 C's are. The first C is called capture. Capture. And what capture is that you are getting the attention of your market. Okay? You are trying to get the attention of your market. Think back to the example I told you of my grandmother when she put up that poster board of those images, and the images of the cute puppies, the cute kittens, the cute babies. That stopped people in their tracks. Okay? And we're going to be talking about over the next several weeks how you can use Instagram to capture people. And like I said, I'm just going to be going through these very quickly, and we're going to be spending more time on each of these concepts each one concept a week. The next thing after you get their attention and you capture them, you want to collect them. So that means you have to make sure that you have something like like a lead capture page with an autoresponder. So you're going to be giving them something in exchange for their email address or their phone number. Something of value. That can be a video, it can be a report, it could be an audio podcast, it can be a webinar. And like I said, we'll go through more in detail after what collect is. You're going to go capture, you're going to get their attention. Then you're going to collect. You want to get their information, and then in exchange for that, you want to give them something of value. Then you're going to communicate, and that's when the beauty of the autoresponder comes in, and you're going to be giving them messages that are of high value and relevant to them, and how you are going to be able to help them solve their problem. That's what communicate is. You're always in communication with them. When you're also communicating with them and you're giving them this value, you're building a relationship. They're going to be going from being maybe a cold market or cold prospect where they don't know anything about you to becoming a responsive, warm market person, which means they know you and you know them. And if you do this right with communication, and Diana's the expert at this, and she taught me how to do this too, is when you're using autoresponder messages and you are communicating in a way that resonates with them, with your prospect, they will be communicating back with you, whether it's through that autoresponder and email messages, or they're going to be communicating with you and following you on social media. You're going to have more engagement. So then let's review quickly. You get their attention, you collect their information, you're constantly communicating with them by giving them exceptional value. Then you're going to close them. That's when you're going to give them the sales pitch. That's where you're going to give them the link to your opportunity. Okay? You're not giving them the link at the capture section. You're giving, see where you look here, it's toward the bottom, it's toward the end. Okay, where you're doing the close. Because by then, they're going to know you, like you, and trust you. Write this down. Write this down. People do not join compensation plans, buy products, or join companies. All right? They only join companies, buy products from people who they know, they like, and they trust. So if they know, like, and trust you, they are going to buy from you. And after the close, we come to consistency. What is consistency? That means you are constantly engaging in those 4 steps: capture, collect, communicate, and close. Consistency is what makes you a fortune in network or in internet marketing or network marketing in your home-based business. Rob Ford, he is another industry leader when it comes to SEO, which is a fancy term for search engine optimization. And he is also a top network marketer, and he says that the fortunes in the home-based industry are made in the mundane. Okay, that means every single day you are engaging in capture, collect, communicate, and close. You do it day in and day out. Okay? So let me quick go to the chat. Does this make sense, everybody? Excellent, excellent. I'm really glad that it is. So let's come right in here and talk about the purpose of Instagram. The purpose of Instagram, okay, is to capture your leads. That is the only purpose. It is an attention-getting mechanism. Think of your website, of your business, as like a typical, like a store, all right? Like a store in the mall. The Instagram, your Instagram account is like the poster board or sign you're putting up in your window. okay? You're using it to get people's attention. And you want to capture the leads. You get their attention first, and you're not going to get their attention through pitching. I cannot stress that enough. You can't be pitching right off the bat. It is going to, it's kind of like that sleazy old car, or that sleazy used car salesman when you try to walk on the lot and they're like, I'm going to sell you a car today. And those are the type of people you run away from, okay? The purpose of Instagram is to introduce yourself to your market. Okay? It is building you and your brand first and foremost. Images are powerful. We've heard it so many times. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you are putting out images that are going to catch people's attention. Diane Hockman talked about this the other day, and you want to scratch the record. Now, for some of you who might be, I'm going to be dating myself. I'm 44 years old, and back in the 80s, we still had record players. And this is before, iPods and iPads and iTunes and CDs and cassettes. There were record players, and you would play a record, and what happened is the record had a lot of grooves in it, and your record player had a needle, and the needle would play on the groove which had the song on it. And if the record was scratched, the groove was damaged, and then the needle would skip, and you could never, the song on the album would never sound the same again. It's been changed. So what Diane says, and I totally agree with this, and I use this on my Instagram, is to use that as a way of, people when they see that you're running a business, the first thing that pops into your mind is they immediately go into like a defensive stance thinking, when is the sales pitch coming? It's coming. And if you're coming out there and you are throwing out pictures of, maybe cute animals or inspirational sayings, and in future sessions we're going to talk about the type of content you're going to be doing, and it's totally different from what they're expecting, it's like taking that record and you're scratching it. You're interrupting their pattern. And they're going to, and if you're putting them in a state from being on the defensive and you're putting them into oh, that's cute, and they're laughing and they're starting to recall good things, guess what happens? They're going to be more receptive to what you're going to be wanting to share with them. All right? And so the purpose of Instagram is to build, I'm sorry, that was my phone going off there, is to build trust with your marketplace. Very huge. Guys, does this make sense? I hope light bulbs are going off for you right now. This should be like, whoa. I mean, when that happened, it totally transformed the quality of my, business. And things just changed and exploded for me on Instagram. So let's talk quickly about how to become an Instagram boss. Basically, to become an Instagram boss is a triangulation. And that triangulation stems from having, your market. Then you're going to create an image and a message that's going to match the market. Okay, so when you have an image to message to market match, that's when the magic comes in, and that's when you're able to put the right offer, and you're going to be in front of the right people who want to hear from you. Okay, that's why I want you guys to get away from where everybody's your market. When you market to everybody, you market to nobody. Huge concept to understand. You want the message to image to market match. So let's talk about today with the market. And I learned this from Ryan Deiss. Ryan Deiss is one of the foremost internet marketing experts. And this is how you want to position yourself into the marketplace. You want to give a reason to exist. And the reason to exist does not mean you are an expert in your market. It means you have a passion for your market. You've probably seen people who are not experts in their network marketing company, and all of a sudden they're flying up the leaderboards and they're making a whole bunch of money, and it's because they're so excited and they have a passion for the product and they have a passion for the market. Okay? The reason to exist sets you apart from the competition, and it answers the question, why should I listen to you? Very important. Why should I listen to you? So there's 3 ways you can enter into the marketplace. You can position yourself as the expert. That means you have the knowledge, all right? But here's the thing. You have to be the person. You have to have those results. Never fake it until you make it. Your prospects and your market can sniff that out from a mile away. So unless you are somebody right now who is, let's say you're a video marketing expert and you're able to generate leads with video, you can enter into the market as that expert. If you're somebody who has lost a lot of weight, you can be positioned as an expert because you can tell people how you lost that weight. Okay? You don't want to be one who's going to promote saying, I'm the expert at losing 50 pounds when you haven't lost 50 pounds. Okay? You want to position yourself that is congruent to who you are. People are attracted to authenticity. Don't try to be somebody you're not. The other way you can position yourself is to be the average Joe. Now, this is more honest to who you are, and this comes along the line saying, well, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm really excited right now and I want to share with you what I've learned. That's another great way to come in, and you can get a lot of excitement going, and people are attracted to those who know where they're going and what they're doing. Okay? But the downfall to that is if you go with the average Joe method, sometimes when you're going to get to a point in the business where you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know, you haven't been trained right by your upline, or your upline doesn't know what they're doing, then things tend to fall apart, and that's when you need to make sure that either A, you become an expert, and you become an expert more when you do the right things long enough consistently, or you want to find someone who is an expert. So the method that I like to recommend to people is to position yourself when you go into the marketplace as a reporter. And that is, I'm not an expert, but I know someone who is. And the classic example of this is Napoleon Hill for Think and Grow Rich. How many of you have read Think and Grow Rich? That's kind of one of the foundational books. If you are not in, if you're just into internet marketing or network marketing, that has to be one of the first books you need to read, because that book, Napoleon Hill wasn't a millionaire when he wrote that book. All he did was he interviewed Andrew Carnegie, who was the richest man in the world at that time, and his friends on what they did to become rich. Napoleon Hill is the father of the personal development industry. This is the approach that I would recommend that people start with. And one of the reasons I love being in My Lead System Pro is that we have so many leaders who are experts in different things. So when I bring people into My Lead System Pro, all I have to do is just point them. If they're interested in Facebook, I can point them to the leader who's the expert in Facebook, and they can do the training for them. Or if someone's at Instagram, I know who to talk to and who to point them to for Instagram. That's why I love this model of being the reporter. Now, before we even set up your Instagram account, you need to know your market. And that means you need to know your people, every single one of you. And you can tell on Instagram who the successful people are and who they're not by their images, because their images are going to tell you who they're marketing to. And if you're seeing images that have no rhyme or reason to them, and it seems like they're marketing to everybody, they don't know who their perfect prospect is. And that's why tonight you need to be creating a customer profile. I want you to get out a notebook. They have back to school sales going on right now. There's one at Walgreens where you can get a book for 99 cents if you have a Walgreens card. Take out a book, write my people on it. And you're going to want to make this person real. And you want to talk about their physical. Give them a physical description. Give them a name, career, how much do they make? Are they married, single, divorced? You can see this whole checklist here. And you can, use this as, when I have the slides up, you can look at these, write these down, be very detailed. The more detailed you make this prospect, writing down their fears, where they hang out on social media, the buzzwords they use, what apps do they use, all of a sudden you're going to see a pattern of keywords that are going to come up that you're going to be using as hashtags with your images. And I'll explain more of that in detail in later sessions. But you need to do this groundwork first. Have a detailed notebook of your people. And if you have that, you're always going to know what your market is. And you'll be able to target your images geared to that market. And your images are going to be geared to that customer avatar, that profile of that person. I have my avatar, her name is Claire, and every image I make is geared toward Claire and her story. Okay? It's like I'm sending those messages and images directly to her. I'm communicating only to her. That's what a successful marketer does. So, any questions quick? I know we're moving through this very, very fast. So let's talk about how to set up your Instagram account. Your Instagram is for a mobile device, okay? And it's a download. You have to download the app to your mobile phone. Either, you have a smartphone or an Android phone. So you can't set it up on your computer or laptop. It has to be set up either on your Apple or Android smartphone or smart tablet, any type of mobile device. Make sure you register with, when you register for your Instagram account, you have two options. You can register either with your email or Facebook account, and make sure you link your Instagram account to get your Facebook and Twitter, and it also has Tumblr and Flickr to make your images go viral. That means you're expanding your reach. And then it's also a time saver as well. When you get your images, you have the right one out. It goes right out to those followers in those social media. When you fill out your profile, this is super important, guys. I see so many people, they're going to put in their product name or their company name and then their name. So it would be like, lose more weight with Lisa. That's just an example. And there's something wrong with that, all right? And then their brand and then their usernames aren't congruent across their other social media. It brings a lot of confusion. You have to have a consistent brand. And we're going to be talking about branding next week. We're going to call the session in Instagram A Rama Branding You. And what you want to be able to do is just use your name. Now, I use Dr. Lisa Thompson because I do have a PhD, so I use that. If your name is taken, don't sweat it. You can do things like you can have like a little hyphen between your first and last name. Okay, you can put a symbol between your first and last name. That can make it different. Make sure you have your email where people can find you, your username as well. Make sure that it's you and that it's consistent across all your social media sites. Have your phone number there too, where you want your people to reach you. I always have my cell phone number there. And guys, I've generated sales from Instagram because people saw my images and they called me on my phone and said, I want to know more about your opportunity. in the bio, describe you and your skills, not your company. Okay? Guys, companies come and go, but you don't. And you want people to follow you for you, so that if for some reason your company goes out of business and you find another company to promote, or as you diversify, they'll come and they'll follow you. You'll have a loyal following of people that follow you and only you, not your company. So as you can see here, I'm a digital entrepreneur. I'm an educator. That's what my PhD is in. I specialize in lead generation, and I love social media. Then I put a little thing in there because I love Instagram, where I put, remember what we talked about with the 4 C's? With collect, I put a little collection statement there. So whatever your specialty is, you want to make sure you have a capture page. And it shouldn't be a capture page to, if it's like a network marketing presentation. I would recommend that you want to give them something different, of maybe a training. You could even give them a video introducing yourself to kind of build trust. And we'll talk about different ways of doing that with your bio. But just make sure, the bio is describing you. And then you use a link shortener. And then there are many, you could use bit.ly. There are many link URL shorteners. But also up here in your bio, you don't get a lot, you can't be too descriptive. So you have to be concise with your with what your skills are. So really, list at least maybe 5 things, 5 skills that you're good at that can help your prospect who's waking up at 2 in the morning in a cold sweat figuring out how they're going to solve their problem. All right? And then we kind of talked about that here as with the Instagram tips, and it's almost time to wrap this up, but here's what I want you guys to do for your homework assignment. Okay? This is the way that you are going to get your Instagram business going, and that is you're going to set up your Instagram account if you have not done so. Choose a profile name, but it should be your name. Don't get crazy by trying to say make more money with Lisa or lose weight fast with Lisa. Don't do that. Keep it to your name and your name only. Fill in your profile information. Come up with like 5 or 6 skills that you have. Everybody has a skill set, okay? You can put some personal stuff about you too, but just remember to brand you. Then finally, get a journal, label it My People, determine how you're going to enter the marketplace, create your customer avatar, and then be prepared to share your avatar, okay, your customer profile. I'm going to pull some people out next week if they want to, and I'll give an incentive for those of you who sign up next week and you do this assignment and I pull you out. I will also offer a free 15-minute coaching consultation with me where afterwards we can set up a time and we'll look at your Instagram account in more detail, and I'll kind of give you a heads up of where you need to be going. So that's going to be some incentive for you. So I just want to quick go to the Q&A. Are there any questions or concerns? Now, like I said, I'll have the replay up probably sometime tomorrow or at the very latest Thursday. And we will make sure that I have the slides available. I will have that. I'll be sending an email out with contains the slides as well as the video. And I'll make sure that it's also uploaded to my YouTube channel. But thank you guys. I know I gave you, probably take like a drink from a fire hose, but this is a video that I would really encourage that you watch over and over again, because it's going to give you the mindset that will help you be successful. Keep in mind, if you use the tool in the way it's meant to be used, you're going to have a faster result, whether it's going to be more leads, whether it's going to wind up turning into more sales. but you're going to get results. So with that said, I just want to say good night here. But what I'm going to do really quickly, guys, is I am going to, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to get a link. I'm going to get a link to the Instagram training that April Marie Tucker did. And I'm going to put that as I close this down so you can be redirected to that page for that training if you have not done that training yet. Because I think this is something for you guys that if you use it, you know, it's going to give you some good background. So I'm going to just quick come up here. And I'm going to quick do the, make sure. Okay, I've got that in there. And so this is Dr. Lisa Thompson. I'm going to quick put my, come back to me here. But I really thank you guys for coming tonight. As you can tell, I'm really, really passionate about Instagram. I'm very, very passionate about it. And I'm very, very passionate to make sure that you guys are building your business the faster, smarter, better way. So thank you for stopping by. I know it went longer than, it went about 7 minutes longer than it should. So I promise you that next week I'll try to keep it to about 30, 40 minutes, but I wanted to get those key concepts down. So with that said, thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you this time next week. So take care.